Om Shruti-Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-Padam Shankaram Logashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhattarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः उकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. So, in the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, we are in the first chapter, third session, 16th mantra. We already read the mantra in the previous session. We will read the mantra once more and we will proceed the meaning of the mantra. Nachiketamuphakhyanam mrityuh proktam sanatanam uktva shrutva cha medhavi brahmaloke mahiyate. Once more I will read. Nachiketamuphakhyanam mrityuproktam sanatanam uktva shrutva cha medhavi brahmaloke mahiyate. A dialogue between Lord Yama and Nachiketas, which is obtaining in this Upanishad, so-called Kaṭha Upaniṣad. That is been praised by these two verses. The dialogue between the death and Nachiketas is being praised by the Upanishad itself. Because it is not an ordinary dialogue. A question arised by an intelligent, discriminative boy. For that question, Yama, the Lord Death itself, got shaken. How come a young boy can this much awareness and maturity to ask this question? And towards that question, he didn't give the reply or the answer immediately. He put some bait in front of him. You take back this question and I will give you some presents which will be more useful in your coming life when you go to earth from my house. Those amusements, those things which will make the person the most happiest things, which can give the ultimate happiness compared to material world happiness. Please take all these things, and this question is irrelevant for a young boy. But Nachiketas didn't get shaken. Nachiketas was firm. Nachiketas was completely sure that he wants the answer of the question. Lord Yama itself thought like this: if I was having this much awareness, maturity, and discrimination in my life at the age when I am young boy, I will not be becoming the Lord of death. I will be liberated myself, because the activities done by the Lord death is not easy to digest for anybody. If you think what are the activities going on, what are the actions he get involved, taking away the life of different living beings and the right time according to their karma, laws of karma. That is a living being. Yama itself is a divine celestial being. But there are limitations for any celestial or divine living being. It's limited. They are not liberated. Understand? So Yama itself got an idea to think about himself by the question arised by Nachiketas. So this dialogue is not an ordinary dialogue. Nachiketas asked for the eternal thing in the world, but it was indirectly through a question, and Yama gave after all kinds of examinations, all kinds of tests. Okay, that's the right thing. You are the supreme Brahman. The answer given through few verses. And that is the goal of an each and every living being. Even though this being the goal for every living being in the creation, except the human being, nobody has a teacher. There is no literatures. There is no book reading. There is no the world of letters. So animals or birds or any other aquatic species, nobody has a chance to get to study or get to liberated. Only human being. That is why Durlabam Trayam Yeva Etat Manushyatvam Mumukshutvam Mahapurusha Samshrayatvam. In the Viveka Chudamani, there is a treatise written by Lord Adi Shankara. He says that indeed it is very rare to happen to get a human birth. And in the human birth, getting connected with the right person, a spiritual teacher, and also having the desire to be freed from this creation. These things will not happen for an ordinary person. One who is totally discriminative, one who always travel in the right track, may triggered by these kinds of things. So it's impossible. It's very rare to get a human birth. In the human birth, you should be very much aware about the importance of the human being birth. It's very rare. Mumukshutvam. And in the human birth, a lot of things will take away. Wife, children, my own house, my vehicles, my career. All these things are around us. In that, very few will turn back and see what is the goal of a human being. Missing the obvious is an usual thing in each and every human being. Very few people think about what is the goal of the human being. That is called mumukshutva. Fine. So I'm coming to the text. So Nachiketas asked a relevant question, and the answer is given by Lord Death through several verses. And he also talks about certain means, discrimination, dispassion, all these things also he told. So it's not an ordinary dialogue. It is to be praised, and the Upanishad do the praise through this. Upanishad do this praising through these two slokas. And the first slogan is this: Nachiketam Upakhyanam. In Sanskrit, Upakhyanam means story. We cannot say it's a story. Some stories will have moral. Some stories are just imaginations. Some stories are facts. Some stories are just created by a human mind. It will not happen. Apart from imagination, I am saying. Imagination can be with the things which are created in this world. Then creativity means you imagine a story with certain living beings which are not there in the creation. Stories are many different style. So we cannot give a literally translation by Ubakhyana means story. A fact which is talking about the destination, goal of the human being. And that fact which happened years before, from the immemorable past, that fact points out, make a human being awake. We already gone through that sloga, Uttishtada Jagrada Prapyavaran Nibodhita Churasya Dhara, etc., etc. Certain awareness about the goal and the means to reach the goal. So, this is not an ordinary story, even though Upakhyanam. the dialogue between the Lord Death and Nachiketas, which is named as Upakyanam, obtained by Nachiketas, related to Nachiketas. Nachiketam Upakyanam, a fact which happened having the moral that human beings should think about the goal and the importance of one's own birth. That fact, which has a name called Nachiketam, related to Nachiketas and the Lord Death, which is told by the next word, Mrityu Proktam. Proktam, what is meant by Proktam? Told by. Mrityuhu, by, told by death. Mrityu Proktam. Sanatanam, something which is ancient and which will never get painted or lose the shine. Always it will be like a star, this story and its moral. It will be always a hit as long as the human life continues. For the spiritual people, I'm not talking about for all the Tom, Dick and Harry. I am talking about the people who comes to this spiritual world and travel through the royal path only walked by the giant personalities. On that path, while we are traveling, we see certain gems. One of these gems is Kaṭha Upaniṣad, and it is Sanatanam. Even though it is ancient, but it will be ever shining. Mrityu Proktam Sanatanam. Even though it is told by Lord Death years before, very old, ancient, a fact which is truth can only survive years and years and years. If it is a lie, you can cheat two people. Third person will be more intelligent. What you are telling, if it is a false idea or it is a lie, he will not accept and this story will fall apart. Because something is true, no way it will go again and again and again to the special personalities, not for ordinary people. They are behind money, wealth, wine, women, etc., etc. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people who has really Shraddha. It's going to come what is Shraddha, Shraddham, etc. Shraddha means a spiritual curiosity to find out the truth without going back. Total commitment to understand what is the truth. Lot of things will be pulling back. Lot of things will be charming in the pursuit of spirituality. But he or she will not go behind that because a firm conviction to find out what is the truth behind me, what is the truth behind the creation. That Shraddha, that commitment, one who has for them, this is something very ancient and very powerful and which is always new, never get faded. So, Mrityu Proktam Tam Sanatanam. One who listens this, if somebody can listen this story for a length of time from the traditional teacher, from the traditional teacher's words, if somebody can listen this, and after listening to this, if somebody can chew again and again and again regarding this story, regarding this fact, and talk to somebody, one who is ready to listen. Remember, this is a part of Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda. If a portion is obtaining in Vedas, it means that there will be people who will be coming to study that specific portion. It is just like a shopkeeper keeping different things in his shop. Even though you don't get identified with that thing, you need certain things and you buy and you go away. Certain other things also there. Why that shopkeeper keep all these things? If you think, who will buy all these things? That's not true. Because in a shop, when they keep something, it means that there is a person who will come to buy that thing, specific thing. You may not be identified, you may not need. That doesn't mean that it is not useful in your life or useful in others' life. So, similarly, if a portion is there in the Yajurveda, there will be people to study that portion. Veda will not keep something which is useless or which will not be used by the people. So, after listening, some people have the mind to explain for others, and a situation will be there in order to teach what you have listened from the traditional teacher. It may be a child, it may be your friend, it may be somebody who is interested in spiritual classes. For some person, you give this story of Nachiketas. This is what been told by the Upanishad. Uktva Shrutva cha. Uktva. If a person ready to part with another person what he has listened, having recited, Kaṭha Upaniṣad itself is in the form of verses. You can recite in front of somebody. You can give the meaning of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad for somebody if a situation comes in your life. Both are acceptable. In the tradition, this is how a book is being retained, giving the whole meaning what he or she has listened from his guru to the other people. Thus, we retain by giving the meaning to the next generation. And it is been preserved by giving to the next hand. Even though this limited body will fall apart Still the teaching continues through somebody what you have taught them. One of the best thing to do in one's life, talking about a relevant subject. There are a lot of things to teach and talk. You are talking about the biggest thing, which is the auspicious thing, which is the central theme of the entire creation. Something very interesting. So, uktva shrutva cha, having recited or having listened, if a person got a chance to listen, if a person got a chance to recite, uktva shrutva cha, what will be the result? Brahma Methavi Brahmaloke Mahiyate. Metha is a faculty of a human being. I have mentioned few classes before. A topic you receive properly, without any doubts, without any interruption, completely you receive a topic properly. After receiving, you memorize it. Receive and you memorize it properly. Remember, when you have a special attachment towards anything, you will find some time to stay with them, or you will find some time to memorize that. If you don't have any attachment towards something, you will not find to memorize anything in the world. Knowing the importance, relevance of the thing, a person spends some time to memorize the things. When you memorize, you use your time properly. And there will be a discipline inside the mind, because memory can only happen in a disciplined personality. Somehow the person have a schedule in the life or in the thinking. So receive something properly, memorize it properly, remind. I am talking about what is metha. In Sanskrit, metha. Something you can receive properly, something you can remind properly, and in a crucial time you can recollect it. The topic which you have received from a person properly, that topic you remind yourself, and that topic is being recollected in a situation. If three things all met together, this is called Metha Shakti, Methavi. One who endows with this faculty is called Methavi, who has the capacity to know the thing properly from a right person, who can remind the person, who can remind the topic, who can keep the topic in the mind, and at the right time he can give also in the right time. This is called Medhavi. If a person can listen properly this story of Nachiketas, if a person can talk something about somebody, about the dialogue between Lord Death and Nachiketas, that person will indeed become Medhavi while living itself. Memory culture is important. There are some people who just sit in front seat of the car and the cars which are moving right in front of them. They look at the car, they memorize the number, sometimes some other things. And after a few days, when you go along with them, again they will identify this car was there before, 3 days before, the same number. I memorized already. Like this, in our day-to-day life, memory culture is very important. This is how we give, we ignite our own faculties. People don't use the blessed faculty given by the Lord. Everybody have the same capacity to memorize anything in the world. One who put effort, one who will spend the time to memorize, that person will definitely achieve Medhavitvam. 3 R: receive properly, remind properly, recollect properly. Medhavi. And after all, we are dealing with different people in the world. Every day we have different experiences. Every day we have certain things to be done without forgetting. All these things will be connected when we have the memory power. We don't forget something. We will be always having certain things to memory, and the human brain, which is limited, even though there is a tremendous capacity to memorize and to keep whenever there is a need, it can recollect and put in front of the people. That is why almost all the scriptures which are relevant in our Indian tradition are in verses so that it can be easily memorized. There are Nidhi Shastras, there are Puranas, there are Smritis, lot of things, all are in verses. Everything, if you want to keep in your mind, memory is the only way, and human brain have the capacity. It's not that these things can, do you think I am at the age of 50, I am at the age of 40, I am at the age of 60. Do you think I can memorize? Your effort is the main matters. That's the main thing. You want to if you want to memorize, you put effort. So here it says it's a result. The person will become Medhavi. When you recite the story of the Nachiketas for somebody after studying from a traditional teacher, he will become Medhavi. And Brahmaloke Mahiyate. Mahima, glory, having some importance in the midst of people. Everybody love that. A unique personality due to the glory of the person. When other person talks about our glory, we feel very happy, correct? Without the capacity to do certain things in your life, you are not going to be a person who is unique. Just sitting in a seat, you will not get some glory. You work on that, what you want to do. As long as body have the capacity to do, whether it is in sports, whether it is in arts, whether it is in some cooking, whatever it may be, you put effort. Now masters are there for anything. See, everybody will have a different taste. Not everybody should have put effort in one single thing. If you are interested in cycling, you have to cycle daily. You don't consider others are not doing. If you are interested in swimming, you have to go daily swimming. Don't wait for others. You didn't come with an attachment towards others. You are not, your life is not pinned with anybody. See, two papers get pinned together, no? This paper you cannot take alone. There is a pin between two. Your life is not pinned with your mother, father, sister, brother, or children, or your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Don't pin your life with anybody. This is the first thing I want to tell you. You have an individual life. You are unique. You have an individual taste. Your taste you have to develop and put effort on that. Once you put effort continuously in one thing, you are going to become Siddha Purushaha, a skilled personality, a talented personality in that specific thing. Whether it is karate, whether it is cycling, whether it is cooking, you will be get blessed by that karma, doing for a length of time. So when you see somebody is doing something without any mistake and you open your mouth, it's not a overnight capacity. He put effort on that thing for years and years. This is how they show some glory in front of us. They themselves become a unique personality. So here, studying Upanishad is not meant for ordinary people. Even though everybody loves freedom, they don't have any idea that freedom is already obtained by everybody. We have to know that I am free from all kinds of suffering. This is not being understood by anybody. So that they will not come to know how I am free. If the freedom is already attained, accomplished fact, how I should know that? Due to the ignorance only, people don't have any idea about that freedom is an accomplished fact. In order to remove the ignorance, we need to know the knowledge. We should go through the knowledge. Knowledge means Upanishad comes into picture. There is no other thing to reveal the fact of that freedom is an accomplished fact. This is the only means Upanishad Vedanta, in other words. No other books talks about that human body never existed at any point of time. You are ever free. Nitya Muktaha. So the means, the Upanishads, one need to study in order to know that I am free. Nobody knows that. Everybody is going behind freedom. I want to be a bit free with my mind. I was in the duty, in the job, you know. Puja Dayananda Swamiji used to say that if you enjoy a job, you don't need an interval or you don't need holidays. There is a weekend holiday, Sunday. Why? Because you don't enjoy the job almost 6 days. You are tired. So that there is a holiday. On that day, you don't do that thing. Suppose you are enjoying what you are doing, you don't need a holiday. So, Upanishad studying makes the person to do everything very sincere. Give the insight about oneself. Make the person to see what is the right thing in this universe to be done and who am I. So, after studying a unique thing, a person will become unique. When you read, when you understand that you are the one and only thing, you are the one and only thing in the world which will never get distracted, which is the source of happiness, which never end up in death, which never starts as a body, as a birth. That thing which is free from birth and death, that thing which is the origin of happiness, that thing which is the pure consciousness, formless fact, that is a unique thing. That is me. The listener heard about a unique thing from the Guru and he understood that I am not a human body, but I am a unique thing. Then he will slowly change his behavior because he was behaving like a human body. From there, he will change slowly that I am the all-pervasive Brahman. Knowing this unique knowledge, a person will become unique, behaving unique. He will be a unique personality in this world after knowing the greatest thing in the world. That unique thing make the person more and more glorified. So Brahmaloke, in the world of Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma, he become the most glorious thing in the world. He get worshipped by the other people because he is not at all having the raga dvesha inside the mind. Going behind the worldly things, he already given up. He don't have the desires connected with the body. He will be always a, a person who loves other things. There is no pressure to hold on some worldly things. All these factors make others to attract towards him. Just like a fragrance of the flower. all the butterflies or all the insects will come towards to drink the nectar inside the flower. Similarly, this person totally understood I am the all-pervasive Brahman. That all-pervasive Brahman, behaving like all-pervasive Brahman in the form of body, make the others to take a resort under him. This is the glory while living in this world. You need not to be a multi-millionaire. You do not need not to be a famous personality. You don't need a body power, strengthened body. You don't need six-pack muscles. You know totally how to love the person. You know the fact. You behave according to the fact with others. And they identify you. Something very different from others. This is the glory. This is the glory. When you live in this world, the person himself changed the vision towards the world, and others also looking at him very different as a unique personality. That glory will continue after departing the body, because he is no more a personality with a body. He is the formless Brahman who resides in each and every living beings in the world. That formless Brahman. Brahmalohe mahiyate, become worshipped, attains glory, becoming the Brahman. An accomplished fact is being revealed by his Guru that you are not human body, you are Brahman. By that knowledge, he take away his superimposition of the body. He start to live like a Brahman, which is the real fact. That make the person to get glorified among others. So he will be worshipped in the form of Brahman. Brahmaloke mahiyate. This is the simple meaning of this verse according to Shankara. Now next verse. Yayimam paramam guhyam shravayed brahma samsati prayatah shraddha kaleva tadanantyaya kalpate tadanantyaya kalpate iti. Once more. Yayimam paramam guhyam shravayed brahma samsati prayata shraddha kaleva tadanantyaya kalpate tadanantyaya kalpata iti. I already mentioned you before starting the class. These two verses are extolled, that the knowledge is been praised. The fact which was revealed by the Lord Death to Nachiketas is been praised by the Upanishad, by two verses. And this verse, last verse of the third chapter of third session of the first chapter, what it says, Ye imam paramam guhyam. Paramam guhyam. Paramam means highest, ultimate. Guhyam, secret. Even though this Atma, this consciousness is hidden in each and every living being as the central theme, as the locus of each and every body, each and every solid thing in the creation, it does not shine so that people miss that. That is why secret. When you keep your specs in your head and you search everywhere, it is hidden now. Even though it is obvious in the head, for the time being, it's hidden. A fact which is already existing, you just forget for the time being. Similarly, a fact which is right in front of you as yourself is not being understood by you. So that is called guhyam. Even though this consciousness is the central theme of the entire creation, it does not shine so that people will not understand the base of the creation, the base of the human being. That's why Paramam Guhyam, the highest secret, if you reveal how it become highest secret, Lord Yama taught Nachiketas when he asked the question. What question it was? Is there any life after the death? Some say there is, some say there is no life after death. This question you need to answer. You are the right person. For this, he revealed the highest secret. That is why Paramam Guhyam. This highest secret revealed by Lord Death. If a person Shravayed, if a person got a chance to recite in front of Brahma Samsadi, noble-hearted people, not everybody's cup of tea, Upanishad. Upanishad will be studied by the person who has something, some values in their life. It's not meant for everybody. So there are 2, 3 people in front of you. Whatever you say, they are ready to listen. Like this, if there is somebody, you recite in front of them. If a person recites this Upanishad in front of Brahma Samsadi, in front of noble-hearted people, you can even recite in front of cow, but cow will not understand what you are saying, correct? So that's why noble-hearted people, they will ask afterwards what you have recited. I would like to know the meaning. Then you talk something little bit about that. That is what been conveyed through this lens. Shravayed Brahma Samsati. In front of noble-hearted people, if a person recite this highest secret, or there are some other place, Prayata Shraddha Kaleva, Prayata, when there is a funeral going on, when there is a time where you have to go to a house where a person is already dead due to some reason, there you go and recite that. Prayata Shraddha, Shraddha, a ritual which is done every year in the banks of rivers in India for the person who have departed from the world. This is a small ritual using flowers, some water, small certain special grass, everything, some sesame seeds, some boiled rice, all these things kept as an ingredients, and you do this ritual. This ritual is called Shraddham. Every year, we do this particular ritual for the people who have departed from the family. It may be forefather, grandfather, whoever it on that specific occasion, if somebody recites this Shastra, this Upanishad, if a person recites 3 occasions, it's given in front of the noble-hearted people, when there is a house or a person who is already departed from the body and there is a dead body there and it's covered and properly on that place, instead of crying, if a person recites this mantra, this Kaṭha Upaniṣad, or in the time of Shraddha Kalam, when the ritual is going on that time, if a person, or after finishing the ritual, if the person can recite this shloka, what is the result going to get for that person who recites this? Tad anantyaya kalpate. He will become immortal. That person is really an immortal personality. It means that that person will not be shaken by the material things in his life anymore. Anantaha, eternally he is staying in one single place. Immortality. No destruction for him. Destruction means different types of thoughts coming towards different things. This is our main destruction. We are we are scattered through our different thoughts. There is no focusing, there is no concentration. Always thinking about the worldly things and we get scattered. From this, a person get a single focused mind. Then a person is ready to think about the consciousness, which is the locus of this human body. He deserves kalpade. He is fit for immortality if a person resides in three different situations. And this line is being repeated twice in order to confirm that this chapter is concluded. For the conclusion, two times this sentence is been recited by the Upanishad. Tadanantyaya kalpate, tadanantyaya kalpata iti. If a person resides in these three occasions in front of the noble-hearted people, in a place where a dead body is yet to start the funeral or rituals, or yearly there will be a occasion of Shraddham, a ritual which is done for the forefathers or somebody who has departed from this world. If a person do this, he attain immortality while living itself with the body. He attained remote immortality. This line is repeated twice in order to confirm that this chapter is concluded. This is the last verse of the first chapter, third session. We will look into the second chapter, first session, first shloka in the coming class. Now we will conclude the section. Iti Prathamadhyaye Tritiya Valli. We will start with the new verse of the second chapter, first session. The next. Om Susti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobhramanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Troparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Satoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Smritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om